Hey folks, and welcome to this video. Today we are going to run through a few currency pairs. I'm going to do these now, I think, on a pretty regular basis, and these will be published to the Pipnotic community only, so subscribers will receive these. I'll put these in a playlist and I'll put them in the section, and in its own section in the Pipnotic Premium Academy. So looking here on the American dollar Swiss franc, on the weekly chart we're selling off. We have downward sloping trend line, which means that we have lower lows and lower highs, and so there's no reason to buy the American dollar Swiss franc for the time being. Also, the Swiss franc has been surprisingly strong these past few days. So looking for a place where we can expect price to turn around. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this on the 4 chart configuration, and I'm going to rip through as many of these as I can, okay, just very, very quickly. So if you look here, we should be selling here. There's no clarity on the weekly, but here on the daily chart we have a lot of clarity, and the clarity originates from here. Okay, so if I just box this little area off, we look something like that. Here about the 93.78 area, I think we could consider to start to entertain the notion of selling. That would be a pretty decent price to exchange our American dollars to Swiss francs. We have a look at the pound. The pound has been taking a bit of a beating here these past days, and so looking at the monthly chart, we're kind of stuck in a range. We're stuck in the beginning of the sell zone, which is just up here, and we are operating also between the closes, these closes just here. So price will probably move to the other side of the range from what we can see now. But if you look at this, we have the market starting to fail. This bullish move is starting to, you can see weakness. We can have this candle that's really pushing lower. And so this may introduce some nice selling opportunities. You can't really see a whole lot on the weekly time frame, but on the daily time frame, you can see very clearly that we have something up here. See, this is where market structure failed. The origin of the move that caused market structure to fail is just here, and so this would be maybe an interesting place to start to engage in selling. And this is at the 132.70-ish area. I think that's a pretty nice area. Also, it's nice and high, which I like. Stops beyond the high here, so it's a very nice spot. And there's no demand, no bumps in the road until we get down here, or even just here. We have a small area just here. And this one here is just about gone. So I'm thinking shorts from around 132.70 area. Okay, let's go on to the Euro American dollar. The euro has really been racing north. As you can see, we have higher lows. We do not yet have higher highs because this is still undecided, but we do have this area of demand that has been respected, and so flows are moving into the euros and out of the American dollars. And there's a lot of fundamental reasons for this happening, a lot of really strange policy taking place out of the Fed, and so we can expect that people are not feeling very secure about holding American dollars. We do have some nice and attractive areas to buy. We have this lovely weekly area of demand just here, and this is the origin of the move that managed to remove all of these little kind of sell zone bits here, poking into this area of supply just here. Okay, so this would be an interesting area to begin to exchange our American dollars for euros. Let's see what that price point is. I think it's around the 113. Yeah, about the 113 area. That would be a pretty interesting price point, I think. You can see there's something also a little bit higher just around here on the daily chart. Okay, if we have a look on the American dollar Japanese yen, see, we don't have the same thing happening here because we've had a pretty weak Japanese yen. We haven't seen this pair move lower quickly as we have on the other American cross currencies, but we do have price poked into this area of monthly demand. But we haven't really done anything. You can see price poked into it. We kind of went to the other side, and then now we're stuck in the middle. So essentially we want to be selling up here, or we want to be buying around the lows of this pullback here. Okay, there's simply nothing to do for the time being. Shorter term, you could take these trades at the extremes, and we have something like that just here. You can see, actually, we have these wicks here represent these two pullbacks here, and this one wick here, the green one, represents this one here. So essentially you want to be going above these highs, because this would be the beginning of the sell zone, and this would be the area of supply, which is not really supply. This is just a price sensitive area, so we could expect price to maybe want to go a little bit deeper. I mean, I would be looking to sell above these highs on the weekly chart and not before that. And I would not be looking to buy. We're not looking to buy this until much lower. So for the time being, I'm not going to be looking at the American dollar, Japanese yen, but intraday, then you can obviously trade these all day long. And it's best, I think, to use the histogram to look for those overextended price points that struggle between the American dollar and the Japanese yen. Position yourself at the close of the session, like we've been seeing in the with the currency strength algorithm. And so just look to that. Use the histogram to sound the alarm, and that should work quite nicely, I think. Again, selling at the extreme highs and buying at the extreme lows. The American dollar, Canadian dollar, on the monthly chart, we had a huge sell-off. I mean, price revisited this area of monthly supply for the second time. We saw huge selling take place, and now here price poked into this weekly demand, and now we're having a bit of a bounce. Are we going to go higher? I don't know if we're going to go higher. We've seen some respect for it. We don't have a lot of supply on the daily chart, at least, and so we can expect the price is probably going to wriggle up a little bit higher until we find something, or it's going to look for another area of demand. And we have an area of demand just down here on the weekly chart. I really like this one here, but this is very far away from price. This is potentially a year away, and so currently, I would be looking to sell at this little price nodule here, these two distribution candles here, because this is where price left and moved through this area of demand, which was tested. Okay, so this area consumed that, so price revisiting that and then following that through to an eventual move lower. Okay, on that one. The Australian dollar, American dollar, yeah, we've seen a huge, the Australian dollar is very, very cheap, and price went very, very low, and now we've just been buying. Okay, and so because of the United States policy, I'm expecting the Australian dollar to continue to move higher, but not without some significant pullbacks, because the economy in Australia is not doing very well either. You can see all of this civil unrest in Victoria. This is, people are stuck in their homes. They're allowed out 1 day a week. This is crippling the economy. All right, the family just came home, so my quiet time is over, but I'll see if I can keep going for a little bit longer until the noise picks up. But we have this area of a really nice monthly departure here. When price left here, we really kind of jolted down. You can't really see here, but price kind of pulled back, and then we had this nice move lower, and price is kind of moving into that area now, that kind of the beginning of that monthly sell zone. And I think it's still okay to buy, but you want to buy a little bit lower. And on the daily chart, we have this delicious little area right here. This is a nice spot just here. Let's see what price level that is. The 0.6675, I think that's a pretty decent area, and that's just a nice departure. I like that area a lot, because when price left here, we really we kind of tore above anything that was in here. Not that there's any supply there, but just a nice all-around departure from there. So I think that would be like a shorter term trade. This area is not going to hold forever, but I think that we'll certainly get a bit of a bounce there. Also, this little nice area here, you see how price kind of traded sideways without really caring about it, and then all of a sudden it popped north, the beginning of the sell zone just here. So this little price nodule here would be interesting to take some shorter term trades. The euro British pound, damn, the euro is on fire. You can see here, this is just fundamentally, this pair is moving higher. Okay, fundamentally, and so buying into this would be a very good trading opportunity. Finding where to do it is tough, because the train has already left, and so you just have to sit on your hands and wait. We had this area here. It was rebalanced. Price left. We returned to this area of demand. Price left. We came back to it again, and then price rallied and accumulated and moved away. Several times since then. We had this area here, price tried to come down, then we left, we failed, and so below this low here, this area of 4-hour demand might be an interesting area to have some intraday 4-hour hourly longs. I know that the Danske Bank have some very large positions on this currency pair, and they're holding it long, and they got in down here. So fundamentally, this would be a very nice pair to hold for longer term. If we look here on the Euro Australian dollar, this is not doing anything, is it? Price is just moving sideways and doing absolutely nothing. So looking at this, I mean, there's not a lot to do. Prices kind of moved sideways. We had volatility, price moved back to it. But looking at this, I mean, there's nothing to do. So I would certainly just jump over that one and find something that's moving. And looking here, this is kind of doing the same thing. There's not a whole lot going on. We do have a downward trend established here. We could certainly start to sell, but I wouldn't start to sell until we come above these highs here. So the slingshot was pulled back and then we left. So I'd look to sell from above the highs of this little price nodule just here. The Euro Japanese yen, here we have prices moved above this high here, but we are kind of flirting with this trend line. This is not a proper trend line because when price left here, we did not move below these lows. We reacted to this, so we formed this area of demand. Slingshot was pulled back, buy zone is established, price revisited, and now we're moving north. But we do have this area of daily demand that I like. So should price come back to here, then this would be an interesting place to expect some intraday volatility and following this pair a little bit further north. British pound, Swiss franc. Yeah, the Swiss franc was strong today. The British pound is getting hammered, so this pair is continuing to move lower. So now we're just gonna tear through this 4-hour area of demand, I'm sure. But fundamentally, this pair is moving down. We've revisited this weekly area of supply 1, 2, 3 times, and now we're moving. We're just about to take out this low. Once that happens, then shorts are in play. You could probably find those on maybe on the daily. If we have a quick look, you can probably find that. Oops, I better make this short. And this little distribution candle just here. So from around the pullback there, I can't see what price point that is. From just around here, I think that'd be an interesting play and follow that lower. I'll do one more, the CAD Japanese yen, and then I think I'm gonna have to stop before my computer turns off. This pair we have a downward trend. We have a low, price violated that. We have this area of supply that's still in play, and then price is getting close to that. So I think selling from this price point and higher would be interesting, but not a terribly attractive spot. I'd be looking to sell from up here, and I would be looking to buy from up here, because when price left here, we removed all of this mess here. This little nice area that was tested a few times, price went all the way down there. So this is the area of demand, this is the beginning of the buy zone, then price is moving north, and you can see this is a very interesting spot to sell here. This is moving down, so technically I would be looking to sell here or buy much lower. Okay, good. I'm going to keep these short, 13 minutes. If you have any questions, please send them in. Thank you so much for watching.